Good afternoon. Today is the 7th of March, although you'll probably be seeing this on the 8th of March, and it's time to do something that we've done since 2018, look at the top 10 best-selling cars of February 2023. The last couple of years has been very, very strange for the new car market in this country, and February 2023 is one of the first months that I've seen that things might actually be returning sort of roughly to where they were before everything went strange about 3 years ago. We don't need to go into too much about why that is, but it's encouraging. The sales of new cars were actually registrations. I must point that out, as I always do, but I will call them sales because it's a much easier concept for me to remember than registrations. The registrations or sales of cars in this country last month that are brand new has gone up by 26.2%. There's maybe not too many surprises in terms of the mix of the power source of the cars. There's some surprises in the actual top 10 bestsellers for last month compared with January 2023. But overall, there is a market sort of change and progression. Some manufacturers have had huge sales increases. Some of them have had huge sales decreases. And there's one particular manufacturer that has changed its way entirely when it markets cars in this country, gone to a so-called agency model. And we'll discuss that a bit further as well. First of all, we need to look at the power sources of cars from last month. Why they put this at the beginning, I don't know. But for forbidden fuel, diesel, we don't talk about it on this channel. The market share has gone down from 6.6% in February 2022 to 4.5%. No surprise. The percentage change in the number of sales is 15% negative. It's gone from 3922 to 3348 last month. No surprise there whatsoever. Petrol has had an increase. So although the market share is not particularly different, it's gone from about 41% to about 43%. Because so many more cars have been sold, it's a 35% increase. It's gone from 24,000 to 32,000. Mild hybrid forbidden fuel engines, again, not very significant in this country particularly. I think various Audis and some Kias have this system. I think these will probably start to disappear quite soon, although there are reasons why you might choose one of these engines. They're not really much of a market presence of in the smaller segment of the entire market in terms of the power source. 3.2 to 2.8% of the market, 9% increase. That's mainly just due to the fact that sales are up by about 26%, gone from about 1900 to about 2000 cars. Mild hybrid petrols. Now this is definitely an increase. Market share has gone up from 12% to 13.5%. Percentage change overall with sales is about 39%. So February 2022, about 7,000 cars, and that's about 10,000 cars. Virtually all of these new cars seem to have some kind of mild hybrid assistance model coming out, but still not all of them, because the pure petrol still make up 43% of the market. Battery electric vehicles, this has been actually misreported slightly in the media. The market share for battery electric vehicles has actually gone down. Now, the percentage increase in sales is up, but market share is actually down, if that makes sense. So the market share was 18%, it's now 16.5%, but because of the overall market going up, the overall change is 18% up. But in a market that's up by 26%, it means that the market share has decreased. So does that make sense? Hopefully it does. 2022, about 10,400 battery electric cars were sold in February, and the last month was about 12,300. Plug-in hybrids, same story here really. Market share has dropped from 7.9% to 6.3%. It is a 1% change in overall sales because more cars have been sold, but because of the market being up overall, the market share has decreased. The number of cars sold has gone from just under 4,700, just over 4,700, Hybrid electric vehicles, this is just everything, isn't it? Toyotas, Suzukis are the ones that spring to mind straight away with these, but there are absolutely loads of them. The standard hybrids, not the mild hybrids, not the plug-in hybrid, just the normal ones. And Suzuki and Toyota make a big deal of this kind of thing, don't they? So their market share has gone from 11.7% to about 13%. That just changes 40%. That's the number to actually kind of pay attention to. 40% increase. About 7,000 cars last February. Last month, about 10,000 cars. So with the dairy sectors, there are only three sectors that they count in the Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders. Figures here: private, fleet, and business. Business is really small. Still, the market share has decreased. Number of registrations has barely changed. It's barely changed. It's under 1%. So overall, the market's up 26%. To stay at 1,300 is not significant. Fleet is doing very well. It was 51% of the market. It's now 59% of the market. So clearly the supply issues that happened for a long time during the aftermath of the pandemic, they must be starting to abate a bit now. So number of cars sold in February 2022 was about 30,000. It's now 44,000. Private's also up. The market share has decreased, but the number of registrations has increased. Market share has gone from 47 to 40%, and change is about 6% up. So it's about 28,000 cars to about 29,000 cars. So the bit that you were waiting for in the video, top 10 bestsellers. First, it's the Corsa, no surprise, best-selling car last year. Not a great seller last month, but that's back on top, about 2,800. Second, the closely related Mocha, about 1,800. Then the Puma, way above the Fiesta, of course. Fiesta's going out of production in a couple of months, so that's 1,600. The Duke's just below that. About 30 fewer sales than the Puma in fourth position. The Hyundai Tucson, again a perennial bestseller, just over 1,500. Tesla Model Y, just under 1,500 in sixth position. In the Volkswagen T-Roc, outsold the Polo actually, which is strange. Polo's not in the top 10 of this year so far at all, which is surprising. 1,360. Eighth is a Fiesta, still clinging on there. Still in 10th position overall for the year. 1,300. Then the Sportage, just under, about 1,262. And then one I've not seen in a while, the Toyota CHR in 10th position, 1,244. Lloyd Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Now this is my favourite part of the video. We look at how each individual manufacturer is doing from A to Z. We look at percentage change in sales. We look at the difference in market share. And we look at the raw actual numbers. So Abarth, always first. Stellantis, first two, always Stellantis. Abarth, hardly sell any cars in this country now. Hardly any. I think there's supposed to be a new electric version coming soon of the Abarths. That's not arrived yet. So they only sold 15 cars last month. And in February 2022, they only sold 25 cars. It's hardly worth talking about, actually. Alfa Romeo, they are the reverse. They've, rather than a 40% decrease, they've had a 20% increase. Now, it's still below the normal market rate, which is 26%, but it's good nevertheless. They do have that new Tonale, but it doesn't look like they've got a lot of buyers for these at the moment. They're actually done worse than SsangYong, which, you know, as a SsangYong owner myself, that makes me feel happy, but I also like Alfa Romeo, so, you know, what can you do? Market share has dropped from 0.09 to 0.08. Number of cars sold has gone from 51 to 61. Alpine, it's a 500% increase, but that means they've gone from 2 cars to 12. So it's not really anything to say about that. Audi, right. This is traditionally a very big seller in this country. I just reviewed a 2021 Audi A1 when I was out last week. That will be coming up a channel soon. It's quite nice, but yeah, you watch my video later to find out about what I think. 40% increase. So market share has gone from 5.6% to 6.22. Number of cars sold has gone from 3,300 to 4,600. Bentley, again, not really worth talking about very much. Their number of cars sold has actually decreased. It's gone from 57 to 41. Who knows why? BMW, this is interesting. BMW used to rival Audi for kind of second or third position in our market, and now they've gone way under. They've actually sales actually down by 22%. The market share has really dropped. It's gone from about 8% to about 4.8. It's a big, big drop. The number of cars sold has gone from 4,600 to 3,600. I don't know why that is really. Citroën, 6% increase. Market share's gone from 2.9 to 2.5%, simply because the number of cars sold has increased by 26%. That means although you have a little increase, the market share still dropped. The number of cars sold has gone from 1,700 to 1,800. Cupra, now this is good news. Cupra don't sell tons of cars over here, but if I look down at Seat and look at what their figures are, they're actually catching up with what used to be their parent brand, although I think they kind of want you to think of them as two separate makes, but I still have difficulty doing that myself. But it's a 258% increase. The market share has gone from 0.4% to 1.1%. Number of cars sold has gone from 226 to 809, which is very, very good. Dacia's done even better than that. I imagine lots of people want the newer Dacias because they are very good value. In fact, the Sandero is the cheapest car in Britain. Still, it's not £6,000 anymore. It's about £12,500. Nevertheless, that's obviously very appealing, and they make some good cars. The Sandero Stepway was one of the most surprising cars I tested in 2021. That was a very good car, to be honest. 319% increase. They've gone from 0.64% of the market to 2.1%. No wonder they don't discount. Number of cars sold has gone from 380 to about 1,600. It's very, very good. Deus, again, really, really good. Another good performing brand from Stellantis, actually. That's encouraging. Number of cars sold has gone up by 141%, from 85 to 205, and their market share has sort of doubled pretty much, from 0.14 to 0.28. Fiat, another Stellantis brand, also doing quite well, despite not having a lot of new models at the moment. They're coming, but they haven't arrived yet. They've gone up by 22%. Market share has actually decreased very slightly because that's not keeping up with the market trend overall. But number of cars sold has gone from 667 to 811. Ford, number one last month, despite the fact that the Corsa and the Mocha outsold the Fiesta and the Puma. 54% increase. That's double the rate of the market, which is good. Market share has gone from 7.5% to 9.2%. Number of cars sold has gone from about 4,500 to about 7,000. Genesis, the biggest increase of all, 1,180% increase. But when that means that your sales only go from 5 to 64, you've got to put it in a bit more context. But nevertheless, that means their market share is almost at 0.1%. Or we have to discount really because they've got nothing to compare against from last year's data. Honda decreased, don't know why. I really want to try a Honda HR-V on the channel. I really, really want to try one of those actually. And then the new Civic, they both look really nice actually. So we've got 27% decrease. Market share's gone from 2.7 to 1.6%. Number of cars sold has gone from 1,600 to 1,200. Hyundai, not really a surprise. They make some fantastic cars. 39% increase, and market share has gone from 5.3% to 5.8%. Number of cars sold has gone from 3,100 to 4,300. Jaguar, unlike their colleagues at Land Rover, they're 11% down. Number of cars sold has gone from 351 to 312, and market share has dropped from 0.6 to 0.4. I wouldn't be surprised if Jaguar either completely cease to be a separate brand from Land Rover, or they have to entirely reinvent that company. They're having a bit of trouble at the moment, from what I gather. Jeep, another Stellantis brand, doing really well, unexpectedly so. 188% increase in February. The number of cars sold from 78 to 225, and the market share has jumped from 0.1 to 0.3. Amazing. Kia, for some reason, are down a bit. I wonder if this is due to supply or something. But also, I think, going to drop the Rio quite soon, which is a shame because the Rio's a really good car. Some people just see my review of a 2017 Rio on the channel that I sourced for a client 2 years ago. It's a really, really good car, the Rio. I presume with Ford's news with Fiesta, maybe Kia don't feel that they can justify making another one, and you can just buy a Picanto or a Stonic. I don't know. Maybe tell me in the comment section below what you think about that. So Land Rover, contrast to Jaguar, up by 51%. 1.5% of the market got to 1.8. Number of cars sold has gone from 900 to 1400. Lexus, similar success, not quite as much as Land Rover, but not too far off. 17% increase, but that means a market share drop actually from 0.51 to 0.47. Number of cars sold, though, has gone up from 300 to 351. Maserati, really, this is a 32% increase, but when that means 22 cars, 29, it's not very significant. Mazda, who also makes some great cars, their market share has dropped from 2% to 1.6%, and percentage in sales is down to down by about 3%. It's a bit of a shame. I really want to get some more Mazdas on the channel, but they're very hard to get, actually. But I do have a dealer contact who might be able to supply me with a particular one that I've been after for quite some time. Yeah, I'll get some more Mazdas on the channel. I really like those. 1200 to about 1172 last month. Mercedes-Benz have recently transitioned to a traditional franchise dealer model, to what's called an agency model, whereby you just buy the car online at a fixed price, and then you pick it up at the dealer, pretty much. I think that's what Tesla pretty much do. I think that's sort of along the same kind of lines. Mercedes-Benz used to challenge BMW and Audi for sort of domination of what's called the premium segment. I don't really necessarily think cars are premium if, you know, they outsell, for example, Vauxhall, which BMW and Audi frequently do. So, you know, I don't know why that is, but it's to do with the sort of perception of the actual sort of badge of the car, I think. But they haven't done very well last month, agency model or not. Their market share has basically halved, about 6% to 3%. Their sales are 36% down. A number of cars sold has gone from 3,500 to 2,200. So, as someone who drives a Mercedes regularly, I don't know what's going on, but I'll just continue to use the independent specialist, and I'm sure it'll be fine. MG, they've bucked the trend here by not having an enormous sales increase, and the HS that was January's bestseller is not in the chart for February at all. So I don't know what's happening there. Who knows? Maybe they kind of had a huge backlog of orders that they've pushed through in terms of registrations. I don't know. So 11% increase, but you know, when you're not good enough to increase the market share, so that's gone down from 1.5 to 1.4. Number of cars sold has increased from 911 to 1014. Mini, 29% decrease. Market share has really dropped actually from 4.3% to 2.4. Number of cars sold has gone from 2,500 to 1,800. Don't know why particularly that's happened. Who knows? Maybe they're all waiting for that new electric Mini to come out. Nissan, very good month for Nissan. Obviously, the Duke came through in fourth position, and yeah, 124% increase. The market has jumped from 2.5% to 4.4. Number of cars sold has gone from 1,500 to 3,300, which is amazing. Peugeot, more Stellantis. I think that's the last Stellantis on this list, actually. They're not doing as well as their colleagues at many other of the brands. No, sorry, I forget. We've got Vauxhall coming. I can't quite see Vauxhall on my screen here at the moment. That'll come a bit later. But yeah, Peugeot, 4% down. Market shares dropped from 4.6 to 3.5%. Number of cars sold has gone from 2,700 to 2,600. So in terms of raw numbers of cars sold, it's not very different because the market overall is so far up. It does actually show. Polestar, very good month for Polestar, 190% up. 198% up, actually. Market share has gone from 0.6 to 1.3, and number of cars sold has gone from 331 to 987. In fact, they beat Porsche, even though Porsche was up by 50%. They beat Porsche. Porsche have gone from a 0.6 to 0.8. Number of cars gone from 377 to 564. Huddle. Yes, a Renault capture video that I made in January is doing really well on the channel for some reason, viewers. I'm actually, as of the day of recording this, going to upload another Renault capture video, the first generation capture, this evening. So maybe they're selling loads of captures. I suppose good for them. It's not particularly my first choice in that sort of segment, but people obviously like them. 69% increase from 1.6% of the market to 2.2% of the market. Number of cars sold has gone from 951 to 1,600. Seat. Now, they're selling about double the number of cars of Cooper at the moment, which makes perfect sense. They're a much more established brand than Cooper is. They have gone up by 89%. I mean, Seat is a brand that's been in decline in this country for quite some time. So seeing these figures is very encouraging for them. I do like the look of the Leons in particular. They're a very nice looking car. The previous one was even better looking in my opinion than this one, but this one's still not ugly. So they went from 1.5% of the market to 2.2. A number of cars sold has gone from 882 to 1,700, which is really good. Skoda, even more popular in this market, and I think that's Skoda is probably my favourite brand of the Volkswagen Group. 111% increase in sales, gone from 3.2% of the market to 5.4. Number of cars sold gone from 1,900 to 4,000. Smart, not good, 90% or 91% decrease, but the Smart #1, which is rumored to come out soon, that might fix things. I don't really know, viewers. SsangYong, not the best month, but they still had a 51% increase. The market share's gone from 0.06 to 0.08. Number of cars sold has gone from 37 to 56. So yeah, they outsold Alpha, I think. So. Subaru, not the best. Still a 90% increase, gone from 31 to 37 cars sold. Market share remains the same at 0.05%. Suzuki, yeah, they have that massive hybrid standard campaign that's all over YouTube. Obviously it's working. They make some really good cars, to be honest. I've driven so many of them now. I think the only one I've not driven is the Cross, which is a rebadged Toyota RAV4. So I don't think I'm missing on the Swace, which is a rebadged estate version of the Corolla. So yeah, but everything else I've driven, and they're pretty good. 34% increase. Market share has gone from 1.3 to 1.4. Number of cars sold has gone from 771 to 1035. Tesla, who are now being treated as a separate brand in this chart, which they weren't for a long time. Seems like they've sort of stabilized really. When some months they've had massive sales, some months they had none, and it looks like they've stabilized a bit now. It's still down 12% though, which isn't great. So 4.4% of the market's gone to 3%. Number of cars sold has gone from 2,600 to 2,300. Toyota, again, a very big brand in this country, but not really the best month for them, despite that CHR being in the top 10. 6% of the 6% sales increase. Market share has dropped from 6.2 to 5.2%, and number of cars sold has gone from 3,700 to 3,900. Vauxhall, really good month for Vauxhall, even though they haven't quite increased the sales. If you think about the rise of the market overall, it's still up by 23%. The market share has dropped slightly, from 7.6 to 7.4%, but number of cars sold has gone up from 4,500 to 5,500, and they have the two top selling cars in the market, so that's obviously very good. Volkswagen beat them though, predictably. I think Ford marginally outsold them. Let's just check it. Yes, just about. Very, very close. 108% up. Market share's gone from 5.6% to 9.2%. I don't know whether they're just selling lots of electric cars or whether it's just for traditional things like the T-Roc and the Polo. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, 3,300 to 6,800 in terms of number of cars sold. 100%, 108% increase. Volvo, above the rate of the market, 28% increase. Market share has pretty much stayed the same, about 2.6%. Number of cars sold has increased from 1,500 to 1,900. So number of cars in total has gone up from 59,000 in February 2022 to last month, 74,000. So that's it, viewers. The top 10 best-selling cars of February 2023. A lot of you not bothered about this sort of thing, but there are a few people out there, and they're very, very loyal, who absolutely find this fascinating. And I'm one of them too. I find these statistics very, very interesting. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more not really penetrative market analysis.